Ah, nostalgia.
Who are you?
That golden haze where even the jagged edges of
You're
our
a doctor?
past are softened
You
into
look like a
cozy
good
memories. It's a land I know well, and in that spirit, let me recount a story that
this scaring you?
unfolded not amidst the soft glow of Christmas lights, but under the eerie gleam of a pumpkin's sinister grin. Yes, friends, settle in. This is the near-epic chronicle of the Pecan Grove Haunted House, a tale where family values and a midlife crisis met on the battleground of All Hallows Eve. In a nondescript suburb, where autumn leaves crunched underfoot like skeletal remains and the smell of cinnamon was being replaced by the scent of burning wood, lived Ron, a man on the brink of retirement and on the cusp of madness. Now Ron was an anesthesiologist by trade, but it was his role as a husband and father that had been his life's central casting, a man of wit and the sort of sarcasm that only years of dad jokes could hone. Yet, unbeknownst even to Susan, his loving spouse of countless seasons, Ron harbored a secret passion, an insatiable lust for Halloween. You see, in the year of our Lord, 2014, Ron stumbled upon some curious technologies. Projectors, fog machines, the kind of gadgetry that turned pixels into poltergeists. It started out simple, as most things do. A pumpkin here, a skeleton there, just a sprinkle of seasonal zest in a yard that for 11 months of the year was the epitome of suburban ennui. Susan, for her part, welcomed these initial forays with the sort of encouraging smile only a longtime spouse could muster. A phase, she thought, as Amazon boxes delivered plastic ghouls and electronic banshees with the consistency of an invading army. It keeps them occupied, she reasoned, while also noticing the credit card statements discreetly making their way to the garbage before she could see them. Ah, the first year, 2014, was a modest affair. A skeletal setup masquerading as a haunted house tucked into their 3-car garage, a few animatronics here, some shrieks and howls there, but it was the sugar that sweetened Ron's tea, the catalyst in a chain reaction that would spiral into an epic of mythical proportions.
Well, that was awesome.
Susan, facing the existential question of whether to become a Halloween divorcee or the queen of the haunted castle, chose the latter. She embraced the madness, becoming the benevolent spirit who orchestrated the living, breathing organism that was the haunted house. She welcomed into her home almost 24 volunteers, making sure they were all well fed and taken care of. Together, Ron and Susan had metamorphosed into the it couple of Halloween folklore, curating an experience that made even professional haunted houses look like mere school plays. The subsequent year saw a transformation as jaw-dropping as Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde. The annual pilgrimage to Ron's haunted maze became a sort of communal rite. Police officers had to be summoned not for crowd control, but crowd management, as his driveway evolved from a makeshift labyrinth into a sprawling necropolis. Ah yes, 2016 through 2018, those years swirled together like a mix of candy corn and Pez in a Halloween bucket. From mere dozens to swelling hundreds, the crowd around Ron's carnival of creepiness had exploded faster than a firecracker in a jack-o'-lantern. You know how the saying goes, when the ink of local news flows, fame comes a-knockin' and there ain't no stoppin'. And the neighbors? Instead of storming Ron's castle with pitchforks and torches, they were doing leisurely laps around the cul-de-sac like spectators at the Indy 500. Amazing! One neighbor quipped as if she'd just witnessed the parting of the Red Sea, only with fog machines and flickering lights. It was like Ron had performed some kind of sorcery, transforming what could have been a seasonal nuisance into a magnet of neighborhood joy, a sort of Lovecraftian Disneyland plopped right there on Enchanted Path. Despite a brief respite in 2018, a sabbatical with their new granddaughter that had all the effectiveness of a diet soda and a sugar binge, by 2021 the haunted house had reached an operatic climax. State-of-the-art special effects, complex storylines, and an ensemble of characters that can make Tim Burton envious. But every epic has its final chapter. And in Ron's case, it was written not in pumpkin spice, but in perspiration and exhaustion. The physical and emotional toll became the haunting he couldn't exorcise. Susan, the woman of the house, had laid down the law like Moses descending from Sinai. October 1st, nothing goes up before then. Her words were the starting gun for Ron's harried dash to Halloween glory, like some kind of suburban Olympic sprint. Picture it, less than a month to transform their humble abode into a den of horrors. The Herculean labor wasn't lost on Ron. He'd haul monstrosities of metal and plastic from storage units that cost more monthly than a modest home mortgage. Each animatronic, each wooden panel, each fog machine and mirror was like a brick in Ron's self-constructed Tower of Babel. And don't think Ron's sons didn't pitch in. No, they did, but alas, they had their lives, careers, social circles, mundane preoccupations that kept them from diving headlong into their father's kaleidoscope of kookiness. It was as if Ron was an alchemist, mixing a singular cocktail of insanity and devotion, a potion too potent for the younger generation to imbibe. So, as the calendar pages fluttered away like leaves in an autumn wind, Ron's haunted dominion would rise, stone by spectral stone, animatronic by animatronic, until, lo and behold, by Halloween, it was as ready as a turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Yet, as the old saying goes, the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. And Ron, while not exactly a relic, was no spring chicken either. You might say he was in the autumn of his years, right when the colors are most brilliant but the chill starts creeping in. Yes, my friends, ambition has its costs. Ah, the things we do for love, for passion, for a brush with greatness. Even if it's just the greatness of scaring the bejesus out of the neighborhood kids one night a year. Ron's seasonal spirit was a marathon of the soul, a race against time and age, and like all great quests, it left its mark not just on the lawns and memories of Pecan Grove, but on Ron himself.
This is so awesome. Look at that.
Then just as abruptly as it had begun, it ended.
I'm retired!
Get out.
I'm retired! It's so awesome! I'm retired!
Congratulations!
The haunted house was disassembled, and Ron, like Captain Ahab abandoning his harpoon, relinquished his tools. The spectacle faded into memory, leaving behind only stories and the lingering scent of artificial fog. An unspoken victory forged in the fires of fake cobwebs and plastic skeletons. Ah, such is the power of spectacle, my friends, when it's done with a dash of macabre and a sprinkle of community spirit. Ron's yearly extravaganza had not only claimed the celebrity square and the neighborhood bingo, but had also become the pulsing, haunted heart of the community. And in that little cul-de-sac, amid the ghosts and ghouls, every homeowner felt just a smidgen like they'd joined the ranks of the living legends.
Going to jam my hand so far down your stomach and break your spine!
Ignore him, Sheldon. His little grandson is off his bed.